Hello to all. This is AJ the One. How are you doing? And I'm doing fine. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. And this will be my first ever Naruto. What if Naruto? What if Hanzo had taken in Naruto? I mean, shit. What if Hanzo was taken in Nagato? For this what if, it wouldn't just basically stop at whatever Nagato was doing, and the main focus will be Nagato, but only for the first one or two parts. Besides this what if is mostly focused on the influence that Nagato getting taken in by Hanzo, the influence that it will have on Naruto. But Nagato will still play a decent part in the story, or a major part. But anyway, we would start off in the Third Great Shinobi War, and at this point, Hanzo and Akame Gakure would be getting demolished, as there's really no way for them to win, and they're also running low on food. So Hanzo's first thought is to partner up with a certain village to team up against all the other villages, and also on top of that, finding an easy way to get money and food. So Hanzo's first thought would be the village hidden in the stone. The reason for this is because that the stone village has the most food at the moment, and I don't know if this would be public knowledge, but I would say it is, that Anoki would have a certain release called particle release. This certain release is more as not this certain release. You all know what the hell particle release is. So because of this, Hanzo will be more fascinated with the stone village. So because of this fact, So because of this fact, Hanzo will be more tempted to team up with them for food. Like the Stone Village will give them food, he will give them money. The money that the Stone Village requested is too much for Akame Gakure, or for Hanzo's budget, if you would. So Hanzo would decide to take the money from the people of Akame Gakure, so he could help them out, and so he could partner up with the Stone Village. He would send out a group of his most highest ranking shinobi to go out and collect money. Because of this, what the hell? Because of this, Hanzo, and so because not Hanzo. Damn, I'm really tired and stuttering right now. Let me fix myself. Hanzo will order out a large group, or a medium-sized group of shinobi to go out and collect the money. After a little while, they would be over. They would have they would have the right amount of money to get the food, but they wouldn't have much left over for the war and for other items. So because of this, Hanzo would send out shinobi to take 2,250 Rio from all this. Damn, I'm really fucking up right now. After this point, so Hanzo would order the shinobi to take 1,250 Rio from each person that is not in the main village. So like in the outskirts and in the slums of the village, to take around 1,250. The original price was 2,250, but they have to bump it down, not only A, because those people probably wouldn't have it, and B, just because they probably didn't even need that much from the villagers. And he will also order them in, as if they didn't comply, either kill them or put them into labor, or manual labor. So the men would go out and basically anyone who didn't really comply with it, they wouldn't put them into labor. That wouldn't be their first thought. Their first thought would be to kill them. So a lot of people in the slums, in the outskirts of Kamegakure, would be killed. And would be killed. As we would cut over to Nagato and his family eating, it would just be his mother and father. Until the door would get kicked in, and three rain shinobi would walk in, explaining the situation. Nagato's father would go upstairs and tell his wife, or while they were walking upstairs, he would whisper in his wife's ear that he was going to attack one of the shinobi, and when he did, he wants Nagato and her to run away. She didn't like this idea, but she knew that there was no other way for them to even get out of the situation. So she would comply. Nagato's father would take a bunch of random things in the house, consisting of some money that they did own, some money that they did own, some valuables, even some random chunks of metal, and even cloth that were all valuable. But some weren't. Some definitely weren't. He would end up taking the cloth off of Nagato's bed, but he would simply only take like certain cloths that looked valuable but truly weren't. And also, like I said, other random metals and also actual valuables. So, Nagato's father will walk downstairs and present the bag to the man. Nagato's father would dig inside and pull out a silver amulet. It's a silver sort of amulet looking thing. Behind he would be holding it sort of like he would have 4 fingers on the front of it and a thumb behind it. Behind the amulet was a kunai that the man was ready to pull out. The shinobi would reach out for the silver amulet, as Nagato's father would quickly drop the amulet, but using his thumb to hold on to the kunai, and would grab the kunai fully and swing at the shinobi. The shinobi will only be a low level chunin, also off guard. So I feel like he would definitely get hit. The chunin would get sliced across the neck and would proceed to run. Would get sliced across the neck. The other shinobi he would see this. My bad. The other shinobi also getting caught off guard. He would quickly tackle the man to the wall and try to fight him. And would begin fighting him. Nagato and his mom would run out of the back door, running into the forest. When the shinobi was done killing Nagato's father, he would run outside, informing the other shinobi what happened, as the five of them would run after them. After a little while, Nagato and his mom would run into a clearing, as the shinobi would quickly catch up to them. One of the 5 shinobi would throw a kunai at Nagato's mom's leg as she would fall down. Nagato, not wanting to leave her, would stay by her side and get up to try and protect her. After this point, only 2 of the shinobi are actual jonin, but the rest of them are chunin. But after a little while, Nagato and his mom would basically be getting getting almost tortured, if you would say. And after a little while, one of the men would attempt to rape Nagato's mother. But during this point, Nagato would basically have enough, as his Rinnegan would end up activating, as he would still have it. So because of this, he would end up using Almighty Push, or Shinra Tensei. He used it unconsciously, as he would end up pushing one of the men off of him, sending him flying into a tree, killing him on impact. As the man would break through the tree, and then slam into a rock behind the tree, killing him, or basically breaking his body apart. He died on impact with the tree, but broke apart in pieces when he hit the rock. And the other shinobi that was also on top of Nagato, trying to pin or basically that was beating up Nagato, would also get launched into the air. And as soon as he would fall down to the ground, he would use chakra to try and try and soften his fall, but he would end up breaking his arm and his leg. These would be the one of them would be that both of them would be Chunin, so that means there would only be one Chunin and two Jonin on Nagato's mom. Nagato would run over it as the one Chunin would quickly get up and pull out a sword, running towards Nagato. Nagato would simply just put out his hand again, launching Almighty Push. The man would use chakra to stick himself to the ground and thought that if he put chakra into his arms, he would be able to withstand the Almighty Push. The chakra in his arms weren't enough, so he not only slid back because his chakra was not enough to keep him stuck to the ground. He would slide back and he would end up getting slammed into a tree. But when he did, his arm would also basically end up like almost so he would point out his he would throw a jab or a thrust or a sword thrust at Nagato. Nagato would use Almighty Push his hand back and push him back. So as soon as he would slam into the tree, he would also stab himself, sort of. But the main factor on why why his sword ended up stabbing into him was because of Nagato. That's the only reason why I said sort of. But anyway, the man would be dead. The two other Jonin wound up rushing at Nagato. Both of them as they would both end up readying to jutsu. Nagato, seeing this, would look pretty scared, as when both of the men would end up launching, since the rain is around them, I would say one would launch water shockwave jutsu, and the other one would launch a raging torrent jutsu. Torrent? Basically almost like dragon fire style damn, I'm really fucking up right now. One of the men would launch fire style raging torrent. It's basically just like a stream of water shooting from their mouth, and the other one would shoot water shockwave, which would simply just shoot out a shockwave of water, which would cause water to fill up the area. But the way that this man used it would end up hitting and damaging Nagato. Nagato would get scared and simply just put up his arms to defend himself, and Nagato would end up absorbing the chakra. The man would look in shock as Nagato would run forward, putting out his hand again. But this time, his hand sort of opened up in a mechanical way, shooting off an explosion, which would end up incinerating the two men. Nagato would look in confusion, as not really wanting to worry on what happened. He would end up grabbing his mom and running off, or limping off, better to say. But Nagato would end up forgetting about the shinobi that broke his arm and his leg. So while the shinobi was crawling away, he would end up getting found by a group of other shinobi, and he would explain to them what happened. And as Hanzo will also be informed on what happened to what happened to the group of shinobi that he sent out. Hanzo, being highly curious on the description, a boy with red hair and really weird purplish looking eyes. As I'm assuming that the education in Akame Gakure isn't all that great. Well, it might be, I just don't know. We don't know too well, so I'm gonna say that it's decent. So the guy would say that he had really weird eyes. It looked like the eyes of the Sage of Six Paths. This would extremely intrigue Hanzo. He usually wouldn't even go off on his matter and send out some shinobi to go handle it. But the fact that he sent out he said 6, 2, so 4 Chunin and 2 Jonin, and they all died except for one, and that's only because the kid forgot about him. He's gonna handle this himself. So him and one of the shinobi would go out. This will be his right hand man, Shinzo. This will be an OC of the story. If I ever for the next part, I'll end up showing a picture of him. But basically, Hanzo and Shinzo will end up catching up to Nagato and his mother. As soon as this would happen, Hanzo would basically almost like sort of launch towards the ground with the with him riding on top of a salamander. So he would like fly out of the sky, land into the ground, as he and Kaizo would be on the back of a salamander. Nagato looking scared, as he would know who this would be, as he would try to back as Nagato will quickly just sit his mom down and stand in front of her, ready to with both of his hands out, ready to launch an almighty push, or ready to attack at least. Hanzo would simply just look over at Kaizo and would just simply just look over at Kaizo. Kaizo would look over at Hanzo, and as he would nod, Kaizo would launch into the air and quickly flash through hand signs. And flash through hand signs, firing off a wind-style wind bullet jutsu. Nagato would put his hands into the air, absorbing the attack. Kaizo would look in shock but he will quickly flash through one pair of hand signs, firing off a water bullet jutsu, then quickly flashing through another, shooting off a wind bullet jutsu. Nagato would end up absorbing more of these attacks, but they would end up knocking him down because of the sheer force of it. And also, as soon as Nagato would get launched back, and how it would be like, it would sort of be at like a diagonal shot. So Nagato would get knocked down, but he would also slide across the ground as well. But basically, as soon as Nagato would try to get up, he would be wrapped up in the tail of a salamander, and Kaizo would end up grabbing Nagato's mom by the hair and putting a kunai to her throat. Hanzo would simply look at Nagato. Boy, you are very special. Not only A, an Uzumaki, but B, you possess the eyes of the sage of the six paths. Interesting. I'll give you a simple opportunity. No, not an opportunity. I'll tell you your choices. Either become one of my personal shinobi guards willingly, and your mother gets to live and treated nicely. Refuse this offer, and Kaizo will kill your mother, but you will still become one of my shinobi. Nagato would look in shock, as either way it's a lose-lose. But there is a win side to this. His mom gets to live, so Nagato would look up at Hanzo, as he would simply just sigh, as he would accept. Nagato's mom would try to tell Nagato that it's okay, that he should refuse and try to use his power to get out of there. But Nagato would say that he's not going to let her die. And either way, Hanzo's going to hunt him down until he becomes one of the shinobi, or until he takes his eyes. So he might as well join him. Hanzo, he wouldn't smile, I'm assuming. I don't know if fucking Hanzo smiles, but he would be delighted that Nagato decided to join him. So Nagato and his mom would both be taken to the tower that Hanzo stays in, or the place that Hanzo stays in. I know that Hanzo didn't even let like family into where he stayed, because he was that scared that they would try to rebel against him. So not like the place that he stayed, more like almost a training / living quarters. This would be a place that Nagato would stay for a little while. The best way to put it is almost similar to like a Orochimaru's hideout. That would be one of the best ways to put it. Because of this, Nagato is and his mother would be living in pretty good what would it be called? Would be living in, I don't know. They would be treated very nicely. Nagato and his mom will be, well, mostly Nagato's mom will be eating very well and will end up getting like nice clothes, a better place to sleep, and she would be quote unquote happy. Nagato would be getting trained by Kaizo for at least like what I would say 5 months. I know that like Yahiko I think like Nagato's like 19 when he starts up the Akatsuki, and I know that Yahiko's like 19 as well. I don't know how Nagato was 19. So Nagato would be 9. Fuck it, right? So Nagato would be 9, and we would skip 1 year. Nagato would be at least high tuning to low tuning level. With an entire year of training, him being resentful to training, he would just be low tuning, low joning, but he was resentful to the training and would often skip it. So he wouldn't be as strong. So Nagato would be 10 at this point, and Nagato would be 10, and he would be put on a multitude of missions. He would be officially a Jonin. He would be. So he wouldn't lead his own group of students, as Hanzo wouldn't have Nagato waste his time with that. So Nagato would simply just go on missions on other shinobi or with Kaizo. But mostly Kaizo by his side. But one day, while Nagato and Kaizo were on a mission, they would simply just get informed that there is that there are a sort of a group of leaf shinobi that have infiltrated the whatchamacallit, that are currently staying inside of the village, but Hanzo simply don't know where they are. Nagato and Kaizo's job are to locate them and then after that inform Hanzo, so Hanzo can go and take care of it. Nagato and Kaizo would be out for at least 2 weeks until they were finally catch the group of shinobi. It would be the group of shinobi. It would be one white-haired man, one black-haired man, and one blonde-haired woman. It would be Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya. He would see these three basically setting up camp, as Nagato would want to jump in and fight them, but Kaizo tells him not to, as Lord Hanzo said he was going to handle it. So Nagato and Kaizo will simply just relay the message back to Hanzo, and Hanzo end up finding Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya, as this would also be the time that he would claim them as the legendary Sani. Not claim them as I think it would be like he would name them as the legendary Sani. So also I'm pretty sure at this point when that happened, I think like it was only Jiraiya left because Tsunade and Orochimaru left, and Jiraiya stayed back to train Yahiko, Konan. So Yahiko and Konan are still 10 and they're still together by themselves. I'm gonna say Nagato's 9. Nagato's only 18. That's not, fuck it, she's 19. But anyway, Yahiko Yahiko and Konan would also end up getting trained by Jiraiya as well. He would still do that, but I am skipping over because the fight would go basically the same, and Jiraiya would still end up training and Jiraiya would still end up training Yahiko and Konan. Just there wouldn't be a Nagato there. After their training, they would end up forming the Akatsuki. So we would only be having I would say a 5-year time skip. So Konan would be 14. Yahiko and Nagato would be no. I don't know why I keep retconning stuff. I don't know. Konan's going to be 15 as well. Konan is going to be 19 years old. So Konan's going to be 15 years old because it's going to be a 5-year time skip. Yahiko 15, Nagato 15. So during this time, Nagato would finally be pronounced as a Jonin. He would be a high Jonin, and his outfit would be similar to the original Akatsuki outfit, but he would end up having a Jonin vest under the black cloak that he would have, and the black clouds, the red clouds on the Akatsuki cloak would have already been made. Instead of it just being a blank black robe, it would be clouds. So Nagato and Kaizo would basically be announced, or Hanzo would tell them to go on a mission as... No, it wouldn't even be Nagato and Kaizo. It would just be Nagato. Nagato would be told to go on a mission to go and hunt down the Akatsuki and kill as many members as possible. Because this rebellion group is being a problem, so Hanzo was telling Nagato to take care of it. Nagato would accept the mission as he would take a group of a few shinobi, and they would go off to go and hunt them down. Nagato would go over his team and tell them that oh my god, why am I stuttering? Damn. Nagato would inform his team that the Akatsuki's next possible location, actually no, that the Akatsuki are getting food and most of their supplies over a bridge from from a neighboring close by small village, not even like a named village, just a small village. So because of this, and their main transport for their goods is a bridge. Their job is to go over, destroy the bridge, and also try to ambush the Akatsuki and kill as many as possible. It would be around, so I'm gonna say that there are 7 Akatsuki members, and Nagato would have around 6 to 5 members. How many? Right, so 7, so 6 to 5 members on his team. So Nagato would take some of his shinobi to go out and hunt down the Akatsuki. The Akatsuki members will end up going to the bridge as I would say it would be all of them, as they would try to help out the people with the goods so they can take them. Soon as they would hop down from the trees and be out in the opening, and two ranged shinobi would jump down and kill 2 random Akatsuki members, as they would look back shocked as suddenly a multitude of water clones will end up rushing from the bottom of the bridge towards the Akatsuki. When this would happen, the Akatsuki would sort of scatter atop the bridge and not really know what to do. So because of this, it would sort of be like a scatter fight between the Akatsuki, as it would also be more of a divide and conquer between the ranged shinobi. but after a little while of fighting, the Rain Shinobi and the Akatsuki will mostly be even in people. There will only be 3 people left: 2 random Jonin and Nagato, and for the other side, one random actually no, for the other side, there would be a few Akatsuki members left. Actually, I would say around 5, including Nagato and Actually, no, not including Nagato and Konan. Oh shit, that'll make it 7. Damn, bro. That's how you know I'm tired, bro. So after a little while of fighting, I would say it would only be around. I would say that Nagato wouldn't even take out too many Jonin. I don't think Hanzo would even let Nagato take Jonin, because it's Jonin. So I would say it would either be really mid or low Chunin, or maybe high ranking Genin. That's what I feel like Hanzo would give Nagato. So after a little while, their start was pretty well, but their execution is not that good. As I would say that it went from 6 Rain Shinobi down to only like 3, and only like 4 I would say only like 3 Akatsuki members have died, including the 2 that they killed at the start. So yeah, there are only 4 left, and Nagato is only left with 2 other random shinobi, and including himself. So after this point, Nagato will simply just order the for them to retreat, but the other Akatsuki members wouldn't let them, as they would end up counteracting Nagato and his group. Due to this, Nagato will end up jumping back and putting 2 fingers, almost putting like half of the tiger sign up to his face, and yelling out "Kai." This will cause the explosive tags under the bridge that they end up setting up to explode, as they will fall down the deep canyon. The deep canyon below. It wouldn't be that deep. It wouldn't be like super deep, but it would be deep enough. Like if you were to jump off of it and land on your legs, you're not gonna have any more legs, and your spine's probably gonna be jumbled up like, I don't know, wired headphones that you put in your pocket. So, but because of this, and so, but also this, so because of this, they would end up falling down the hole. But also because of the magnitude of the explosion, some of the rocks on the cliffside of the canyon will also end up falling down as well. So causing the little small or I'm not going to say small, the large canyon to get larger. After a little while, Konan would end up waking up, sort of wrapped up in her Akatsuki blanket, in a flame in front of her. As across from her, she would end up seeing Nagato. Her seeing this, she went up getting scared, quickly jumping out of her Akatsuki robe and pulling out a paper kunai, and will end up pulling out a paper kunai. Nagato would simply just sit there and tell her that she needs to calm down, as if he wanted to kill her, she would have already been dead. Konan would be confused, and she would simply just ask Nagato, why didn't he kill her? He would simply say because he doesn't like working for Hanzo. He never has. The only reason he's working for Hanzo was simply just to protect his mother. So until he has to do what he has to do, as he would assume that most of the Akatsuki members that they had left are dead, so he might as well just leave them alone. As with only 2 members left, I mean not 2, as with only 1 member left, I don't think that there's much that they could do. As Konan would sort of look like shocked and would gasp, like, what do you mean 1 member? As Nagato would say that he didn't find any other person besides her in the rubble. So So he apologized. So he's sorry, but I but he thinks that she's the only one left. Nagato, not Nagato. Conan was sort of getting on her knees in denial of this. Was sort of like flopped to her knees in denial of this, that it isn't true. Not Nagato would simply just look at her and say it might be, but he really, but he doesn't know since he didn't find anybody else. But enough of that. As Nagato would end up pulling a meat with meat on a stick from over top of the fire. It would just be some rations that they had with them until they found the Akatsuki that Nagato and his team had. So Nagato ended up pulling out two pieces from over top the fire and give one to Conan. Conan would ask him to eat his first, as Nagato would end up scarfing that shit down. And after that, she would take off a piece of hers and give it to Nagato. Nagato would take it and eat it. Conan would still be skeptical, but she would end up eating her piece of meat. Nagato and Conan would end up sort of chatting. Well, not Nagato and Conan. Conan would simply just be answering once, like one time, and like one word answers. Nagato would be asking questions like, so why was the Akatsuki formed? Because Hanzo needed to be taken down. I see. Was your family killed by Nagato? I mean, not by Hanzo. Yes. Was that other orange-haired boy's family killed as well? Yes. It would sort of be a conversation like that. After a little while, Yahiko will end up waking up under the rubble, as he would end up smelling some burning food. So because of this, Yahiko will end up yelling, "Conan! Some other Akatsuki random guy! Anyone!" As him yelling, Conan and Nagato end up hearing. It wouldn't be too loud, as he would still be weak. So Conan would end up looking shocked, as she would end up peering through like a little hole that would be covered up by the small cave that they were in. Conan would end up seeing sort of like would end up seeing sort of a shadow of Yahiko, as she would quickly get up and look over at Nagato, asking him for help. Nagato would quickly scramble up from his seat and crawl and would walk over to where Conan was, as Conan would tell him where Yahiko was. Nagato would point out his hand and use almighty pull to try and pull Yahiko closer. But as soon as he did this, all the other rocks will also be pulled to his gravitational pull as well. As Nagato will pull his hand out and say that he can't pull her out. That he can't pull him out. With his almighty pull, all of the things are pulled closer to him, and he doesn't have enough control over it to only focusing on Yahiko. And also, even if he did, the rocks over top of Yahiko will end up crushing him. So right now we simply just have to feed him stuff through the or not feed him. We simply just have to help him out through over here. As Conan would look over and ask him how would they do that. As Nagato ended up getting up, walking back over to his cloak, rummaging, as there would be like a satchel on it, or like where Nagato's vest was strapped over, like over top of his vest would be a satchel. And that satchel would be placed next to his cloak that he was wearing. So Nagato would walk over and rummage through his satchel, as he would end up pulling out another just raw meat, as he would put over the fire, as he would end up instructing Conan to sort of create like a paper torch, or like just like a rolled up piece of paper and put it over the fire to light it up. Conan would Conan would end up doing this, as she would end up rolling up a random piece of paper, lighting it on fire, and then using it to illuminate where Yahiko was. She would end up giving Yahiko the meat, as he would end up asking her where did she get the meat from, as he would end up hearing Nagato, but he would just assume that it would be another Akatsuki member. As Conan will basically explain that there's a rain shinobi in here helping her. Yahiko would quickly get worried and ask, "Is she okay?" She would explain, "Yes, he is, and he's actually not that bad. The only reason he's working for Hanzo is because he needs his mother, because he needs to take care of his mother." As she would basically explain to everything that Nagato said to her. It would be like this for around 5 days until after a little while, Rock's Yahiko. It would be around 5 days, and on the 5th day, Nagato would be talking to Yahiko. As I would say that at this point they're friends, but not like close friends. They would be like, oh. So for example, they're close enough friends to, like, if they were to see each other walking around in the real world, they would end up like acknowledging each other, saying hi, and continue moving. They wouldn't stop, say hi, and stop whatever they're doing to say hello to the person. They wouldn't. Nope. They would just look, lift up their head, lift it down, as the other person would do the same, and they would continue walking. That's the best way to put their relationship. But on the 5th day, Nagato would simply end up stating that they should end up joining him or joining Hanzo. Yahiko and Konan would end up looking highly confused on why would they ever want to do that. Yahiko's a tyrant, and also Nagato doesn't even like him, so why would he want them to join? As Nagato would say simply that if any of their members have survived, and they would probably be taken hostage to be questioned, and knowing them all, do you think any of them would truly end up giving you up? And also something else, if they were to simply just join him, then he will almost have like his own group of inside people to take out Hanzo in the future. Yahiko and Konan would understand on what he's saying, as they would, as Nagato is not asking them to join Hanzo. They're asking them to join him to take down Hanzo. The both of them would end up agreeing, but Nagato would say that they are going to have to follow and listen to Hanzo. They would end up agreeing to Nagato's offer, and also later that day they would end up being digged out by a few shinobi. Nagato will quickly end up stepping out, telling that the two members, or telling the two shinobi that end up finding them, that all the Akatsuki, that these two are the leaders of the Akatsuki, and they have decided to join Hanzo. So and also something else, Nagato would be a higher rank than these two, so he would just simply tell them to go off and look for any other shinobi that would be buried under here, and let me know if they are alive. As the two shinobi would be like, huh? What do you mean? They're all dead, so shouldn't we just kill all the other Akatsuki members over there? Don't worry, I'll handle that. Don't worry, I'll handle that. I'll try to get these two to convert the rest of them over to Hanzo. You two just go off and report this to Hanzo. the two shinobi will end up shaking their heads, complying, as Nagato is not only sort of famous amongst them, but also is a higher rank. So Nagato will end up taking Yahiko and Konan over to the Akatsuki members, as Yahiko and Konan Konan and Nagato end up explaining on what the plan was, that they're gonna only temporarily join, quote unquote, join Hanzo, but they're basically just gonna end up betraying him after a little while, as they're gonna be following Nagato. As the plan is explained, they all end up agreeing, but they all would sort of be cautious, because this Nagato guy is really just like, he ordered those men to kill some of their friends. As Nagato would apologize, but as he would end up explaining that he had to do what he had to do. As most of the Akatsuki members would be like, he's right. I guess he's cool. He saved Nagato and Konan. I mean, damn, he saved Yahiko and Konan, so I guess he's cool. So after a little while, the Akatsuki members would simply have to only temporarily burn their Akatsuki cloaks. As soon as this would happen, Nagato was simply just almost causing the palm of his hand to open up like a panel, and as he would shoot off fire from it, similar to like sorcery in its puppet form. As soon as this would happen, Nagato would do that, as he would end up using he would end up just burning it up, as he would tell the rest of them to follow him. He would end up going back to Hanzo, as he was explaining the situation. Hanzo being delighted, and B, also really confused and cautious. Nagato's still alive, thank God. Wait, tell me, you brought back Akatsuki members, and they say they want to join you? They are a rebellion group, and they're all here, and they all changed their minds about being a rebellion. Yahiko would be the one to speak the most, as Yahiko would say something along the lines like knowing that you're stronger than Nagato, and the fact that Nagato took out most of our group with mostly by himself, as they have all simply just realized that there's no point in fighting back, and as they might as well join him to try and make a difference there. As Hanzo not really caring if they tried to rebel against him, he didn't care. Even if they did, what were they gonna do? So he would simply just accept it and continue moving. And after a little while, after a little while, Nagato would end up basically teaching all of them how to get stronger. Would teach all of them how to get stronger. So during this time, not only the Akatsuki members are getting stronger, but so is Nagato. During all of this, Kaizo is currently on the battlefield, so he wouldn't be informed about any of this. But Nagato and Kaizo would basically be like close friends almost, but more of a mentor-student relationship. But anyway, after a little while, Hanzo would send Nagato and his new personal group, the Akatsuki, out to go find and fight the Sannin. As I would say that they would end up coming back to the whatchamacall after hearing that the Akatsuki had ended up joining the opposite side, as Jiraiya would end up being confused and wanted to know what was going on. Like, no way that they, out of all people, joined Hanzo. He had to know something was going on. And he was right. as literally all the Akatsuki and Nagato end up jumping in front of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru. Jiraiya would be confused and would basically pull out a talk no jutsu, but Yahiko would simply just put up his hand, scratch the back of his head, and explain what was going on. Jiraiya would end up sighing. Jiraiya would end up sighing, saying that he almost had a heart attack and was truly scared, since he knows that kid is not only a Uzumaki, but also has the Eye of the Sage of Six Paths. Nagato would simply say that he dislikes Nagato as much as the next person. Not Nagato. God damn it. Nagato would say that he despises Hanzo as much as the next person. So he would never. So as soon as he got an opportunity like this to kill Hanzo, he wouldn't pass it up. So during this time, Nagato will end up saying that he has an idea, or not an idea. He would simply state that him and the Akatsuki want to try and quickly kill Hanzo, but they don't have the firepower. So he was hoping that they could get into contact with you, so he can train the three of them up. Jiraiya would simply sigh and accept, saying that if they were to do this, then the third grade ninja war would practically almost be over. So Jiraiya would spend the next, what I say, they were 14. So they would basically make it look like it was an actual fight. Like during the battlefield where Nagato and them were. So Jiraiya would end up summoning toads to stomp around. Nagato would end up burning up the ground. Others would launch off their own jutsu. The entire area would just get devastated. And also Orochimaru and Tsunade would also do some stuff. And after a little while, it would basically look like that Nagato and some of the others were dead. During this point, Hanzo would be in distress as his largest military asset was just killed. As the only reason why Hanzo didn't put Nagato on the field is because Nagato was not fully faithful to him. So he thought soon as Nagato got the chance to betray Hanzo and Hanzo wasn't right there to stop him, he would do it. So he never sent Nagato on the battlefield. But now that Nagato was gone, that's a little bit more distressing. So he would send out Shinobi to constantly go out and try and find Nagato. And they never will. And they never would. As I guess this is a good time to stop this. In the next video, I'll basically be explaining on how Nagato will end up gathering up all of his members, end up fighting off Hanzo, and what will happen after they're done fighting Hanzo, or what will happen during the fight with Hanzo. Hope you all have a nice day. It's AJ the One here. Please like, subscribe, and share my content. Have a nice day.